Hey everybody, Brandon Phillips here with Jimmy Nixon. This is the first, I shouldn't say episode. That's the dumbest thing in the world to say. This is the first video that we're going to do here at CrossFit Bound. We're going to start trying to put these things together for everybody, and just wanted to start off with Coach Jimmy Nixon, and he's got a lot of insight. He's been on this earth for a long time, longer than me. And you 40 now?
40.
Yeah. So he's got a few years on me, and so I like to hear his wisdom. And he obviously looks younger than me, so he's got a secret to life to help him stay young. And and then just want to get to know him a little bit better. I know a lot of y'all people in the gym and in the CrossFit Bound community know who Jimmy is, and he's just a great guy. But go ahead and introduce yourself, Jimmy, and tell us something about you.
Well, my name is Jimmy. Again, 40 years old, and been doing this for about 6 years. I love coaching people. I love working with people. I kind of got into it by chance. My buddy Aaron kicked my butt in basketball one day, and I was a pretty good basketball player. And I knew that at that point, I was 34 years old, I knew something had to change. So I started with P90X. Did that for the whole 90 days. Did it another round of P90X, and it was pretty rough. I was in pretty bad shape, but that was kind of the start of my journey. Got into some powerlifting, and eventually got connected with Brandon in CrossFit through Jay McAnally, and that was just a real blessing to get connected here. But yeah, that's kind of my story. I wasn't in terrible shape, but I was on the road to a nice looking dad bod. So I've got some pictures out there you guys might see, and I couldn't imagine where I'd be at now if I had continued down that road. It wouldn't have been pretty. So that's kind of my story, and just been doing it for 6 years now, just consistently every day, just doing a little bit of something, and learned a lot what not to do, what to do, and then I love just taking kind of what I've done and sharing with other people and having people experience the same thing that I've gone through. So it's been a lot of fun. So
it's awesome. Well, one thing I've noticed specifically about you is and how you work with your clients one-on-one, and how you deal with a class of 15, 20 people, is somehow you're able to relate to everybody one-on-one. And the biggest thing for you is lifestyle coaching. I know you're a big fan of that. It's not just coming in and counting reps and looking at technique and form. It's more of a person. You make it more personable than just a 1 hour session of training.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
what is it? Why do you prefer that approach? And what makes it the best way for you?
I just want people to experience. I know life can get crazy, and people deal with all kinds of stuff out in life, and I want people to be able to come here and get a break from all that craziness at home, and I really do try to make it personal for people, and try to build a relationship with everybody in the class. When you're going through warm-ups, that's a good opportunity to ask about how their kid's doing, or how they're doing with their goals, or how whatever's going on in life, but just trying to be intentional with really making a connection, so people aren't just coming here just to work out for an hour. That's what they're doing, but really try to connect with them to where they're bringing everything to the gym with them, and really find a connection with each other. We try to do icebreaker questions to get people connected to each other, and sometimes you ask a stupid question like, what was your first car, or something like that. It just brings up conversation, people are able to connect, and if someone had a beater car for their first car, people are going to relate to that. So just try to keep it light, try to have fun with people, and just try to make that personal connection. I think that's really, really important. I think that's what life's about. Just connecting with people, and putting all the craziness of life aside, and getting in here and grinding through something together, and leaving here feeling a little bit better than you were when you came in.
Yeah. Absolutely. Another thing too I've noticed with what you do is you're really big on nutrition when you talk to people, and I know you're a keto fan, and then we have some people in the gym some coaches that are macro fans, and then some people that just eat whatever the hell you want, which is particularly my style.
Yep.
So, but they as long as you're training hard, you get to eat much, But I know you're a huge person on nutrition, and I want to know how you relate nutrition to lifestyle, because we've seen some big changes with some of your clients, and they've been members of the gym for 3 years, and then they started working one-on-one with you, and all of a sudden now they're making really big headway. It was they were just stepping, taking back steps. Then all of a sudden, here they are just taking off and going.
Yeah.
And so what is like your key advice on talking about like lifestyle change when it comes to nutrition?
I think it's going to be different for each individual. Everyone's going to be a little bit different, but I mean, really just boils it down to just eating real foods, and you know, just learning a lot. What I've experienced is my body doesn't tolerate grains. And I used to really struggle with acne real bad. Like I would get like bad acne, like real big
some pictures of bad acne and
dude,
bad body.
It was bad, like so bad I wouldn't even want to leave the house. I'd be like, I'd say I was so embarrassed. But I cut the grains out, and that went away. My little belly pooch, that went away too. So
so skin and basically like a distinct
inflammation,
eliminated that just by eliminating grains.
Just by cutting grain out, yeah. And I used to go to Art's Bagel. I still go to Art's Bagel. I don't get the same.
The
Jimmy special, yeah.
Jimmy special at Art's Bagel.
But I used to get 2 bagels, and always could never, no matter how hard I worked in the gym, I could never get rid of that little belly pooch. And I cut the grain out, and that kind of went away, like pretty much right away.
Yeah.
So I just start with that, and then make sure that people are eating real foods, and I play around with some timing stuff. Maybe a little bit of a fast in the morning, eating real foods. Not eating more carbohydrates than your body's burning. So it's different for each individual. But I'm a big fan of tracking it. So most of my clients keep a journal, and they write everything they eat down, so I can check in and see exactly what kind of like a workout journal. I can see what their intake has been, what they're eating, and what time they're eating, and it's pretty good indication of where the scale's going and how their body composition is looking. You can tell if they kick their heels back a little bit. It's going to change how they perform and how they look and all that stuff. So having that I can flip through and go through their book, that really helps a lot with keeping people on track with food.
Yeah. Have you seen like clients that make the change in lifestyle, make the change in nutrition? Like what's the conversations like before, and then what's the conversations like after? Like you see somebody make these changes. Is it like the personal changes to community changes to the relationship changes? Because I know myself. I mean, I see that with some of my clients before, and you always read these stories about them. But
yeah,
I know how those conversations can change with the client.
I think when people get on board with food, it changes their everything. I mean, it changes their performance in the gym. It changes their home life. It changes the way that they view themselves. So when you can get, and it's tough to get people on board because some people think it's all exercise. If I just work out an hour a day for 3 days a week, that's going to be enough. But if you can break through and get them on board with the food, it really converts their whole life. So it's a big change. It's tough because people go down kicking and screaming, trying to let go of that oatmeal that they're used to having every morning, or the sandwiches that they're having for lunch. But once they can make a couple steps in that direction, it really they start seeing the difference. They start seeing the benefit. Their running improves. Their anyone that wants to do any type of gymnastics work, I tell them get to your fighting weight first. It's gonna be a lot easier than putting a weight vest on. So you get to your target weight is beneficial for pull-ups and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So getting people on board with that seems to really help all areas of life.
Yeah. What's some of the hardest things you've seen with changing nutrition habits up? Is it just being consistent, or is it the other people in the relationships around you, or is it the availability to get it? Because I know a lot of people say it's expensive. Joining the gym is expensive, eating right is expensive. But also not doing those things is going to turn out expensive.
Oh yeah.
I know I've got to work on an ambulance, and 90% of the people we ran majority of them could have been prevented just through not having a sedentary lifestyle and eating meats, vegetables, fruits, some starches, and no sugar.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
How do you see those changes?
Yeah, that's big. A lot of times, when stress happens, people, and myself included, can use food as a stress relief. So that's tough when life hits you and you got those comfort foods. that you want to fall back on, the cakes or sweets or whatever it is.
3 Musketeer bars for me.
It's tough, So trying to have a safety net, and I tell people if you're gonna have something like that, like a cheat day. I'll never forget my coach, my dad. I asked him early on. I was like, Dad, what do you think about cheat days? What do you think about cheat meals and stuff like that? I'll never forget the way he answered it. It's just stuck with me. He says, "Who are you cheating?" And, that's stuck with me, because you're cheating yourself if you're doing that.
Yeah.
And we get some people that do a 30-day challenge or something like that. What's the one thing to do on day 31? Is they go and indulge.
Yeah. It's
like, why would you go back and you fought so hard for that? Why would you go back to something that is taking you back to the old life that you had? So yeah, stress hits. Being social. We all have social lives, and that's tough too. I tell my clients to be the weirdo. When they go out, you go to Mexican. What are you gonna do? You got chips.
That whole bag of chips and
it's
cheese dip.
It's tough. But be the weirdo, and like that quote that Jocko says. Discipline equals freedom.
Yeah.
And so if you show some discipline, in your life, it's going to equal a lot of freedom in your life. Like you said about the EMT and stuff like that. When you're out there, these people have not shown a lot of discipline in their life, and they've lost their freedoms. Mm-hmm. So if you can show discipline in certain areas, whether it's financial or with food or whatever it is, if you are disciplined, it's going to equal a lot of freedom financially or physically or whatever it is. I want to live a long time. I want to keep going to 120 years old. So that dictates my rest days. That dictates what I eat. That dictates what I do on my rest days. All that stuff. So if I'm feeling beat up, I'll take a day off. If I feel like I need to eat a little bit more, I'll eat some more. If I need to fast, I'll fast. But I want to do this a long time.
Good.
So I'm just trying to get my clients to live a long time with me.
Good. So one thing you mentioned your dad, and you mentioned a quote. So is he pretty good shape?
Yeah, he's pretty good shape. Now he is. Yeah.
Now he is.
For a while he wasn't.
Oh, and he came up with that cheat quote.
Yeah, he just said it off the top of his head, I guess. I don't know if you heard it from somewhere, but he said it, and I don't even remember he said that, but he said, "Who you cheating?"
Man, I'm gonna have to put that above the door walking into the gym.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's good.
That is really good. It's really good. Well, let's see here. I'm gonna give you some questions. Answer them off the top of your head.
Okay.
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue.
I don't know.
What's your most favorite? What is your favorite website?
Reddit.
Reddit is your favorite website? Really?
Yeah. Is YouTube a website?
Yeah, YouTube.com.
Okay. Well, I use the app. So.
Okay. What's your favorite exercise?
Back squats.
What's your least favorite exercise?
Burpees. I don't know why.
What's your favorite cardio?
It's gonna sound crazy, but the assault bike.
What's your least favorite cardio?
Running right now.
Running. We are in Hero Month. It is a lot of running.
Yeah.
No, this is the most running I've done in a long time.
You ask me a month from now, it might be different. But
what's your favorite T-shirt?
Like that I have?
Yeah.
I'd have to say this one.
I was about to say that's a good one.
Arnold.
Daniel, he had that one on the other morning. Daniel Earlo. Big shout out to him. But yeah, I'll come up with some better questions as we go. I just came off those at the top of my head.
I bought this one.
Favorite flavor ice cream?
Oh, Moose Tracks, without a doubt.
So you should have said I don't eat ice cream.
Without a doubt. Ask me last time I had ice cream, though.
Oh yeah, last time you had ice cream. Nice.
I don't even know.
Well, good. Jimmy, thanks for coming out here. And
thank you.
Well, you're always here. Thanks for coming out here. But thanks for coming to my office and let me videotape you for a while. But we're going to be sending out some more of these videos. Let us know how you like this. It's going to be on our blog, so be looking for those on our blog, and we'll be inviting some more coaches and more clients and talking about some other stuff that pertains to training, and later like blog posts. I'm not going to say episodes. It's not
no
podcast.
Episodes.
Later blog posts. I'm going to be used to saying that. But yeah, see y'all in the gym.
Cool. See ya.